education sector in Oman is, as you'd imagine, huge and now quite varied. There are a lot of government schools, a lot of private schools has opened up, so the education sector is much more diverse than what it used to be.
In 1970 we started with 3 schools, and say in 2010 I think it reached 1,000 schools, 400 private schools, 500,000 students enrolled. That is a big jump, in such a short time.
We're still an evolving country. We just started 45 years ago, and change doesn't happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight.
We have been exposed to many different cultures. We have worked in many different countries. We have mingled with different populations around the world. So if there is anything Oman has to offer, it's that outward thinking, openness that you really don't get anywhere else but in Oman.
When it comes to talent, I'm really optimistic here because of the solid education system that we have, and because the ongoing process of assessment, and because of the international standards that we always try to adapt and bring in different experiences, we will have more talents to come. Students, they will prove themselves more, and they will pave their ways really to get into what they need and what we expect from them.
Young Oman is almost like a sponge. They want to learn, they want to grow. So Oman is basically the place to be for any entrepreneur who wants to set up and basically utilize this young workforce and very talented workforce, and who is willing to learn and grow with the company.
So the economy is booming, it's growing, and from the educational sector, it's in a sense, it's easier. They don't have to worry too much about exporting everybody. There are jobs available here.
Every economy is dependent on its primary raw material, which is people. So people development is very, very important.
If you can develop the right leaders, the right managers and the right entrepreneurs within a fast-growing economy, you've got a much better chance of unlocking that potential and so growing and developing the economy into the future.
With our teachers, we put a lot of efforts in their training. We have a special center which was just established recently on training teachers and training school principals.
I think talent and the education of leaders, the education of managers, the education of professionals, the education of entrepreneurs should be the #1 agenda for any public or private sector institution in the country and in the region.
Omanis are really exposed now to everywhere, and they are also working in many different fields which 10, 20 years ago we never heard of or thought about.
We make it very clear to employers that institutes or training centres, whatever you wish to call them, cannot do the job on their own. You have to integrate with the employer. The employer has to take on some of the challenge to integrate the worker into it, so when they do arrive ready to start work, it's a much smoother transition.
It's not about giving somebody knowledge, but how do you help them develop that knowledge and use the knowledge for their own benefit, for their company's benefit, for the national benefit at the end of the day.
And that's why Oman is really the environment. Oman is really the place where you can really get that potential of youth. We now have everything in place, the infrastructure, policies. Now we have no excuse from our students and our youth really to unleash that potential they have.